Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading room. A short work week. Yesterday actually turned out to be a better trading day than I thought it would be. You know, the market was very bearish out of the open. If we go back here, a little bit of sideways trading, prices falling off for the morning session. Traders come back from lunch and rally the market back up, right back to the highs, really, before the close. Falling off ever so slightly, going into the close, and a little bit more sideways trading, which brings us to this morning's open. So we're kind of trading off of yesterday's highs. And, well, we just opened up here. We'll kind of give the market a little bit of time to settle in. Yes, Natalia is, I should have known someone would ask. Natalia is asking, good morning, Eric. Are you still trading the September contract? When will you switch to December? I don't know why NinjaTrader prompts everyone to roll a week early. Your September contract is still good until the end of next week. And right now, it's probably still the most liquid between the two. So I guess to answer your question, Natalia, I will stay with the September contract for this week, and I'll roll next week. Because no doubt you won't be the only one to ask. Right now we've had a little bit of a bearish start to the morning, getting a first micro macro cross lower. We're into the hard edge, making a trend change signal here on the Falcon as well. If you're already trading the December contract, you're pretty much going to mirror what's going on my charts here. Yes, Mark makes a good suggestion here. He says you can always bring up a new market analyzer and compare the two contracts volume to see which one to trade. That's what he does. So I'll show you how to do that. First, you're going to need to add the next month. So we'll go here to the NASDAQ. And we'll move the December contract. So we have September and December. And now you can open a new market analyzer. And that will give you a box like this. Right-click on here, and you're going to select columns. And we don't need to know the bid, the ask, or the last. What we want to know is the volume. I know it's staring me in the face here. Oh, here we go. Oh, daily volume, that's the one I want. Okay, apply that, and now we have our instruments, so we're going to add one of our instruments. First one will be the September, and next will be December. Now these values will even out over the next week and a half, and next week you'll actually see December start to pull ahead, but there's so much volume in the September contract, you could probably trade it. Honestly, I used to trade it up until the last day. I suppose that's a bad habit though, because you may end up staying in a trade a little bit too long. Not so much a problem if you're a day trader, of course. But there's plenty of volume here. So you can see December's got 10,000 contracts and counting. September just shy of 68,000 and counting. So lots and lots of activity. No issues on the volatility side. Great suggestion, and I'm sorry I closed it already. Mark reminding us that you can save that as a template. He calls his rollover volume, so you don't need to rebuild it all the time. All right, so we're getting the reaction now to the hard edge. We're about 10 minutes into the day. We are getting a first micro-macro cross now to the buy side. And that is tradable. Let's see, should I try to put a runner on that? It's slipping now into a macro pullback. The nice thing about this is that you can cover the trade below the lows. And let's see if we're getting a trend change signal on the Raptor yet. No, not yet. We might come out of here. You could interpret this buy signal as a hard edge bounce. We're not going to print a number 3 signal if it actually prints a buy signal. Currently, we just have the warning dot. But you could treat this as a hard edge bounce. This is what I would call one of those advanced signals. It's not going to print because our clouds are mixed up, or you could think of it as a early cloud crossover, and not to get too cute with the signals because we've got enough to do just to follow our good signals, but there is a potential to buy off of this hard edge. So you can see the clouds crossing back, the market pushing higher, the pullback, and now the with trend push. Oh, actually, we did get the cloud crossover signal. I didn't think the Raptor would print the cloud crossover. Because I thought the clouds would have been too jumbled. So I guess not. I guess they were jumbled just enough to produce a number one signal. Not happy with the slippage. Not happy at all. It got slipped 2 ticks. What's with that? Slippage a little problematic. Because I always wonder when you get slipped, why? Why did they slip me? Is nobody else buying? Am I the only one foolish enough to buy? Well, I wish I could say I've never bought the high or ever sold the low. It is summer as well, so that's always a little bit thinner. All right, we're laboring a little bit near the high of the morning. The Hawk trade doing a little bit better off the macro pullback. Looks like I got slipped a tick on that one as well. But we've hit the break even. We would have hit our profit objective already. You can see we're a little bit past our profit target. The challenge now to take out today's highs as well as yesterday's. So this morning high, 59.64 quarter, and then yesterday's highs just a little bit above that. I've already got the runner going in the Hawk, so I'm not going to duplicate a runner here. And I think I'll pull the break even into the high. So the next push up. There we go, got the break even, and we're just hovering below the profit target. Please get to my profit target. Had I not been slipped those 2 ticks, this is where I want them back. Look at that. 2 ticks short of my profit target. 1 tick to get to the target, the other tick to get past it. And that is most annoying. Well, that was unfortunate. And I think I'm going to get tagged at break even here on the Hawk trade as well. That seems to be how it's shaping up here at the moment. That's what I get for being cute, trying to run it out. Elmer asks, how do you see the slippage that fast? Well, I know my profit target is set at 20 ticks, right? So what happened was I set up my trade. I know I'm supposed to have a $100 profit target. But when my trade was enabled, I only had $90. So I know my profit target didn't change, but my entry, I did not get 59.56. I got 59.56 half. All right, back into the hard edge. It may still have been a good trade. I might have the direction right. It may be the kind of trade that I had to keep the stop way back here a little bit longer. Maybe the stop rolled a little too early, a little too quick. The hawk turning over now, trying to get bearish again. Back into the hard edge here on the eagle already. I don't know if I would quite call this a rule of three yet. You could. You don't have three counter trend signals, you only have two. But the components are there for a rule of three. Namely, we have a trend. We've just seen the test of the extreme. And now the market perhaps trying to head lower. So what you would do with this rule of three is, and you get a chance at a second push entry, which is nice as well. You do need to, because it's counter trend, you do need to cover it above the highs here. The third signal, if we get one more test and failure, the third signal is probably going to have a little bit more follow through to it. So the hawk into yellow bars, the raptor going to give us a hard edge bounce here. There it is, it's right there. And can I cover below the low? Oh, I can. And here's another opportunity for a second push entry. So all I'm doing here is trying to stay with trend as much as I can. To me, it looks like the trend is currently up. You can go back further than that, but the overall trend right now does seem to be more bullish than bearish. I would have been paid on my hawk buy had I not tried to run it out. Okay, looks like I can cancel this. So we've got a red bar buy coinciding with the hard edge bounce. The Falcon trying to make a trend change. So we've got a real dog's breakfast going here this morning. Actually, I suppose I could leave this order in. It's not going to hurt. This, by the way, same place I got filled last time, 59.60 half. And I seem to remember mentioning that 59.60 was going to be an influential number over the next few days. Or could be an influential number. Okay, here they come off the hard edge again. I'm not a big fan of trading in the middle of the range. You see, here's the high of the morning, here's the low of the morning. Where am I? Right smack dab in the middle of the range. It's too neutral. But I suppose we always take a chance in trading. Okay, this time I only got slipped one tick. So you can see my profit target now, 95 instead of 100. So I'll roll that back, see if I can't get that extra tick back, although it did cost me the last time. Well, it didn't cost me. I got a break-even trade, but and almost to the top of the hour. So again, I have to ask myself, why did it slip? Am I the only one who sees a buying opportunity here? I certainly hope not. The seller's starting to pour it on a little. We should see a little bit of a reaction to this trend line support as the buyers try to come back. So this may well start to look like a rule of three. Yeah, we've got a rule of three now on the eagle here. Again, it's a counter trend signal, so you always need to be wary with counter trend signals. You can just use it as an early warning. You don't necessarily have to trade it. But just a reminder, what the counter trend or how to interpret a counter trend signal. First, you need to have a trend, right? You can't have a counter trend if you don't have a trend first. Next, you need to see a test of the extreme, and you need to see the market start to change direction. In the case of the eagle, what happens is we start producing signals against the trading band. So here's signal 1, here's signal 2, and here's signal 3. And normally it's this third signal that's saleable. If the market's going to go, it's probably going to go off that third signal. And there they go. Now, like I said, you don't need to panic about this because this will likely work itself into a trend change signal as well. There should be a little bit of a pullback here. You see the band is turning over. We should produce a sell signal. And likewise here on the Raptor, we're going to get the cloud crossover to the short side. Okay, it does look as though we're getting a little bit of a pullback now into the cloud. Floyd says the mid cap is heading lower. That's the EMD, the S&P 400. Paul asks, when I use the buy and sell buttons, I don't get a target or a stop loss. Okay. First off, make sure that you have a target set. Make sure the easiest way to get a target is to make sure you're 100% all in, all out, and make sure you have a target. To get a stop loss, make sure you have your trail indicator enabled. If you do those two things, you will have a target and a stop loss, which I will demonstrate shortly. If we get a sell signal here, Oh, come on. So what I'm looking at now is a cloud crossover, right? The clouds have crossed. I'm going to see a little bit of a pullback. I thought this would have qualified, but I guess not. Still need one or two parameters to come into sync before the Raptor's going to give me a sell signal. All right, well, I just want to punch in anyhow. There we go. We're going to get a little bit of an uptick. All right. We should get a sell signal soon. And all I'm doing is I'm trying to select a stop strategy that's not going to be right next to my prices to start, so that I can, once I have a stop, I can move it around. Likewise with your profit target. So I'll change this to 100%. Wow, getting quite a bit of bullish pushback here. Looking at the Geiger counter, got some buying spikes going through. Oh, okay, so there's the number 2 signal. Let's do that. We're going to buy it. All right, so I have my profit target. I have my default stop loss. And I got that because my stop strategy is against where I want it to be. That's a rather convoluted way of saying it. But you know the stops, if I'm buying, should be down here, but they're up here. So Trade Manager recognizes that, hey, you can't put your stop loss up there. So now you can disable your stop and select one that will work. So let's say you choose to go with the swing strategy. So you can accept it and turn your stops back on, and now it will roll via the swing strategy. All right, so if you're not getting your profit objectives printing and you have a profit target set and you're not getting your auto stop losses, it's because you don't have your trail indicator enabled. Okay, Paul says, I have a 20 tick target and an enabled stop. Try reloading your Ninja script. Not while you're in a trade, but while you're between trades, try reloading your Ninja script. And if that still doesn't fix the problem, then I'm afraid you're going to have to contact Ben, because I'm not sure what's going on. And I'm sure everybody already has Ben's email, but if not, there it is in the chat window. I'm wondering, should I try to run this one out? Don't be stupid, Eric. Just take the profit. target, of course, for the counter trend trade, the hard edge. I got a little bit of positive slippage on this one. That's nice. I tried to enter here. The market pulled back a little bit before filling my order. Big push. Here, let's bring the break-even trigger into the hard edge. Come on. There we go. Okay, so I'm at break even. We'll see whether they can trickle up to the profit target or whether they're going to tag me at break even again. Well, looking good. Had a little bit of an uptick there. Ah, nuts. Oh, I can't win today. Doggone it. I have a feeling I was a little quick on that break even. We shall see. Back into the hard edge. Counter trend signals, of course, always riskier, always more of a challenge. So we'll see whether we come out of this hard edge now with a sell signal. Wow, we're really grinding here this morning. So the Raptor is actually going to be one of the first to give us a short signal. The Falcon, the trend line is still messed up. We've got some warning dots here. You could wait for a double pullback. It might actually be prudent. All right, so there's a crossover sell that we've been waiting on. This the result of this move lower here. And what do you know? I don't think they slipped me a tick. Oh, they did. Stinkers. Give me my money back. Scalp targets all around today. Had a few scalp targets. And in fact, you know what? Is this going to be the one that goes? If we break the lows here, is this going to be the one that gets the market to unwind? Maybe. Okay, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to try to run this one out. And of course, if we do get the lows, that would be my profit objective. So we'll see. I'm not liking the lack of follow-through on this double bottom, but I did say that this could potentially turn into a double pullback, right? Where we can go into the cloud twice, come out each time with a sell signal. This is the first sell signal. This is the second pullback now. If we come out with the second sell signal, that would qualify as a double pullback. Didn't get high enough to hit the hard edge, so it's not going to print a number 3. All right, I should probably bring my stops in. If they fail to hold these highs, we will get a rally. That's pretty much a given, I think. Wow. Brutal. Look at all this sideways trading. You know, we had a block of sideways trading here, got a block of sideways trading here. Out of the open, we had all this sideways trading here. If this trade doesn't work out for me, and it's starting to look that way, this is what I would consider a good loss. Yes, it's a loss, and it sounds like an oxymoron that there can be a good loss, but I did everything right in this trade. Perhaps the only thing I could have done better is maybe get a slightly better entry. But as far as managing my stops go, I've done everything correctly. I started with a more generous stop, something to give the trade a chance. I've recognized where the market has found resistance, so I rolled my stop into there, knowing that If it fails above 59.55, well then I may as well get out of the trade early because it's probably not going to go my way. All right, so unfortunately it was a loss, but like I said, those are the kinds of losses you shouldn't feel too bad about. You can call that a good loss. I know, it doesn't help much, but you got to take solace where you can. All right, so we had a first micro-macro cross here, a trend change signal here. Sort of a rule of three here on the Eagle, but not much of a trend preceding it, so I almost think that's a little bit of a stretch. The Raptor now trying to get more bullish again. We're going to get a cloud crossover here to the upside after trying to get a cloud crossover lower. But look at where we are again, 59.60, right in the middle of the daily trading range. Not the best place to be trading from. So we still have a little bit of bearishness coming back into the market, which is to be expected. We hit our primary resistance line, getting the pullback now into the cloud. We'll see whether the buyers are keen to try to push the market up, but like I said, this is really, really neutral territory that we're trading from. It's probably why we're seeing the market flip back and forth so much too. red bar buy. Ooh, there was a red bar buy forming here. And we'll see now whether we get that number one signal here on the Raptor. That's the cloud crossover signal. Cloud's changing direction again. We got the pullback into the cloud. Now we'll see if the buyers can rally. There it is. See if we get any follow through on the signal this time. Hey. Well, I'm going to hold my stop here just below the median line. A couple of ticks. Because this market is in a wandering mood. And again, I think it's partly due to the fact that a lot of these signals are originating in the middle of the trading range. So we're getting some too much neutrality, not enough bias one way or the other. And a lot of overlap, right? A lot of prices retracing their steps. If we were looking at a time or a tick-based chart, no doubt a lot of these bars or a lot of this would look like doji bars. Which by definition are very neutral. All right. I'll take that stop. I'll take the 50-50 stop. Because there's not a lot of love for the buyers right now. Is there anything else bearish? We got a red bar buy here that we can short on the hawk. And that now turning into a first micro macro cross. Wow, they're wicked today. Look at this. Now we're coming back with another hard edge buy after they just tapped me to the number. Yep, 50-50. Well, not happy about that. Okay, you see all these tests of the extreme here? If this continues to hold, if the next short signal should be a good one to take. If this fails, if we break through the highs here, then we can have a little bit more confidence in buying. I'm feeling everything is flip-flopping. Yeah, the hawk flip-flopping the falcon trend line back and forth. Okay, we finally got a hard edge bounce here on the eagle and a little bit of follow through, and we have broken those recent swing highs. So I'm totally choked that I got tagged on that trade. All right, we're not going to get a hard edge bounce here, and it depends how patient you want to be with the market. We are getting a trend line touch in the Falcon, but and we're getting a first micro macro cross here on the Hawk as well. So things starting to look bullish. If you're looking for an opportunity to get in here on the Raptor, you may consider the buy signal that's going to form as an early entry opportunity. Problem is you need to cover the trade pretty deep, and that could be a little problematic, but that is what you need to do to get this trade to work. Can you give me the buy? There it is. Okay, so it's not an ideal signal because there's a very good chance the market's going to retreat here to the hard edge. Therefore, I'm going to take my stop and I'm going to pull it back here. Oh, look at that, 50-50 half again. But the market does seem to have a bullish bent to it right now. So if I wait for a full pullback to get in, I may not get it. But don't kid yourself, there is a bigger pullback coming through here somewhere. Come on. Oh my gosh, it's painful today. They're muddling along. Hopefully they should push up through the 59.70 area, and that will hopefully give them enough to trickle up to the profit objective. But honestly, the way they're trading right now, it's like trading in slow motion. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I didn't get tagged at break even. Wow. Okay, hooray, one for the good guys. That will offset the earlier loss, or one of them. Still got one more to make up for. And now we're just kind of stuck again. Well, it seems as though we would have had to wait most of the morning for that move. But at least we have a good idea as to the market direction now. Obviously, the market being a little bit more bullish. Thanks, Ken. Ken says, don't forget about the crude inventory coming up in 10 minutes' time. Crude very neutral here. It's a nice tight little range. You could bracket. We've actually produced a number one signal to short, a cloud crossover to short. I would favor the short side. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to look at a short signal below the lows, and I won't be able to cover up there, no. Below the lows, cover up here, no, can't do that either, doggone it. May just have to see what this is going to cost me to be wrong. Okay, so that's about 3% instead of 2%. And what time is it? Yeah, 10 minutes to go. I can see crude trying to make a little hop here to the upside before heading lower. And you might just consider this like a second push on the number one signal, giving it quite a bit of elbow room here. In fact, I could have already thrown that in. Oh, actually what I should do, because the slippage has just been brutal today, I'm going to go with a stop limit order, and I'm going to allow 3 ticks. That's all they're going to get. No, not 3 contracts. Wrong button. Good thing I double checked that. that could have been bad. So here's the spread I'm willing to accept a fill anywhere from 48.76 to 48.73. That should be enough for crude. And we've got about 6 minutes to go. Okay, only a few minutes left here for the crude inventory. Look at how dead this market is. It's just dead even within today's trading range. If you wanted, of course, you could bracket this range. There's nothing wrong with attempting a buy. I'm just a little bit more bearish on this market. Everything that I've read fundamentally says there is absolutely no shortage of crude oil. The thing about reports, though, is not always the facts, but how the market perceives that information. And what I mean to say by that is, are buyers or are traders expecting a bearish report? And when the report comes out, will it be as bearish as they thought it would be? If it is, then it's probably not going to go anywhere. If it's bearish but not as bearish as they thought, prices will rally. If it's more bearish than they thought, prices will fall. Well, I guess I better get a stop strategy enabled here as well. There we go. Okay, about a minute to go. And we'll see what happens. Look at the order size. Nobody's committing. And these will jump here in a moment, and we'll see 50, 60 lots go through or more. All right, so another cloud crossover signal. And the report, I guess, has been released. The bars are getting a little bit more active. Here we go. There's the release. Well, looks like that was a big old nothing burger. Doesn't look like it caught anybody by surprise. And the market has made no reaction whatsoever. Oh dear. Isn't trading fun? Well, good to know. Thanks, Steve. Steve says, speaking of nothing burgers, the TV show Wahlburgers is the worst ever. That's saying a lot. There's some pretty terrible shows on TV. I will steer clear of it on your recommendation. Okay, well, there you go. There's the crude inventory report. You could continue to bracket this range and trade a breakout higher or lower. But as I said, everything that I've been following has been bearish, so I would not get too hung up on buying. And there we go. All right, boys and girls, I think that's enough fun for one day. If you're continuing to trade the NASDAQ today, you're going to want to stay on the buy side. The market, obviously bullish. We're going to get a pullback here. I think it's inevitable. It may be extended. It may even get back to the hard edge. Should be one more push higher. I think the market owes us that. But as I said, you may have to wait for it for a little while. So good time to go get some lunch, or in my case, breakfast, and check back and then see what's going on. All right, I will see you tomorrow. We'll talk to you then. Bye for now.